In the middle of the Sahara, rising like geometric scars from the sand, stand monuments so precise, so mathematically perfect, they seem allergic to time itself. The pyramids. For centuries, these ancient colossi have whispered secrets about death, about gods, and maybe about power we no longer understand. But what if I told you these weren't just tombs? They were terminals, devices, nodes in a forgotten planetary energy grid. And what if those who built them weren't entirely human? Today we dive into the mythos of the Anunnaki, a supposed godlike race from beyond the stars, or perhaps beneath our own feet. We'll trace their fingerprints across stone, myth, and magnetic fields and ask the forbidden question: were the pyramids power plants for an ancient interstellar civilization? Before we go further, imagine the Earth not as a planet of continents, but a lattice of power, a globe etched with invisible highways of energy. This theory, first proposed by Alfred Watkins in the 1920s, birthed the concept of ley lines. Straight, energetic alignments connecting ancient sites across the world. Stonehenge, the Great Pyramid, Easter Island, all of them rest on or near these lines. Could the ancients have felt them, or even designed with them in mind? Some researchers suggest these lines mirror acupuncture meridians, only for the Earth. And the pyramids? The needles. They exist on every continent: Egypt, Sudan, Mexico, China, spanning millennia, and cultures that supposedly never met. These civilizations, separated by oceans and time, all arrived at the same answer: a triangle that touches the sky. In Egypt, the Great Pyramid of Giza contains over 2 million stone blocks. Some weigh as much as a pickup truck. There's no mortar, no writing, just laser-straight tunnels, cosmic alignments, and dimensions encoded with pi and the golden ratio. Why? Why did they build them? Mainstream archaeology tells us tombs, but no mummies were ever found in Giza's main pyramids, not one. Instead, we find granite chambers, electromagnetic anomalies, and acoustics that vibrate with harmonic resonance. Could this geometry have had a higher function? Could it transmit energy? But let's rewind. Long before Giza rose from the sand, ancient cultures were already stacking stones toward the sky. The Nubian pyramids of Sudan, smaller, steeper, and more numerous than Egypt's, hint at a widespread architectural code. In Peru, the pyramids of Caral predate even the Incan Empire. In Indonesia, the megalithic structure of Gunung Padang contains carbon-dated layers that may stretch back 20,000 years. 20,000. And here's the bizarre twist. Many of these structures sit on ley lines, geometric paths crisscrossing the globe, allegedly pulsing with Earth energy. Coincidence or design? Then there's the impossible craftsmanship. In Teotihuacan, the Pyramid of the Sun once shone with mica, a mineral used today in electronics for insulation and energy resistance. In Egypt, the Inner King's Chamber is built from granite sourced 500 miles away. Not only did they haul these blocks, they shaped them with microscopic precision as if using laser tools, not copper chisels. And how do we explain the near-identical angles, proportions, and astronomical alignments across continents? The Chinese pyramids near Xi'an are nearly identical in slope to those in Mesoamerica. Were they receiving the same instructions or interpreting the same code? Recent studies in archaeoacoustics have revealed that many ancient sites, including pyramids, resonate at specific frequencies. The King's Chamber, for instance, amplifies frequencies between 30 to 90 Hz, within the range of human brainwave patterns. Did the ancients design these spaces to alter consciousness, to heal, to communicate? To understand the pyramids, we must first understand the gods, or rather, the beings we mistook for gods, the Anunnaki. Their name, etched into clay tablets older than the Bible, translates to those who came from the heavens. According to the Sumerians, they didn't descend metaphorically. They came in fire and thunder, riding vessels that scorched the skies. These were not myths born from fear. They were records, diaries, field reports from humanity's oldest memory. The Sumerians didn't just tell stories. They logged the arrival of the Anunnaki as historical fact. From the tablets of Eridu to the cylinder seals of Nippur, the narrative is alarmingly consistent. Sky gods brought knowledge, divided kingdoms, and walked among men. One such god, Enki, is credited with shaping humanity. Literally, the myth tells of humans fashioned from clay, but with the breath of the gods. A poetic way of describing genetic engineering and the knowledge they imparted. Not just agriculture and kingship, star charts, complex mathematics, astronomical alignments so advanced they rival modern observatories. Here's where it gets stranger. Ancient Sumerian star maps include planets we didn't officially discover until the 19th and 20th centuries, including Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto. How did they know? Enter Nibiru. Zecharia Sitchin, though controversial, interpreted ancient texts to suggest a rogue planet in an elongated orbit, home of the Anunnaki. Every 3,600 years, it swings close to Earth. Was this the heaven the Sumerians referred to? Mainstream scholars dismiss Sitchin's work, but even without Nibiru, the legacy of the Anunnaki is encoded in nearly every ancient civilization. In Egypt, they were the Neteru, godlike beings who brought architecture and law. In Mesoamerica, they appear as the feathered serpent Quetzalcoatl, said to have emerged from the stars to teach civilization. In India, as the Devas, celestial beings with flying vimanas, capable of leveling mountains. Different names, same blueprints. The Sumerian King List, a stone artifact cataloging dynasties, includes kings who reigned for 30,000 years. Not a typo. 30,000 years. Even the text says that before a great flood, kingship descended from the heavens. Myth? Metaphor? Or distorted record of advanced beings with lifespans or technologies we can't yet fathom. Now imagine this. What if the Anunnaki didn't just build temples, but systems, technologies, power sources, infrastructure that spanned continents? Maybe the pyramids weren't just built for them. Maybe they were built by them. What if the pyramids weren't monuments, but machines? A growing chorus of researchers, engineers, and fringe physicists believe that pyramids weren't simply constructed for burial or symbolism, but served a planetary purpose, to harness and transmit energy. Let's start with the math. The Great Pyramid of Giza is aligned to true north with shocking accuracy, off by just 3/60ths of a degree. It sits at the geographic center of all landmass on Earth. Its height, multiplied by 43,200, equals the polar radius of the Earth. Coincidence? Or geospatial engineering? Inside, things get even weirder. The king's chamber is lined with pink granite, electrically conductive. The queen's chamber sits on a level with strange salt deposits, hinting at chemical reactions. And the shafts? They don't go straight up. They align with Orion's belt and Sirius like antennae. Some believe the structure acts as a resonator, pulling in Earth's natural vibrations through its base, amplifying them through internal chambers and projecting the energy upward and outward. Russian physicists found that the pyramid concentrates electromagnetic energy in its internal rooms. German engineer Christopher Dunn proposed it functioned as a hydrogen-powered mesa, using underground water channels, vibration, and chemical reactions to generate power. Nikola Tesla dreamed of transmitting free energy wirelessly across the world. His Warden Cliff Tower bore striking resemblance to a pyramid in function, grounded deep in the earth, topped with a spherical terminal, built over aquifers. He claimed to tap into the Earth's resonant frequency, a power source that didn't need wires, just geometry. He died penniless, and his papers vanished. But some say he rediscovered what the ancients once knew. And Tesla wasn't the only one. In Bosnia, the so-called Pyramid of the Sun emits a 28 kHz ultrasonic beam from its apex. It's not random. It's consistent. The site also shows higher than normal negative ion counts, associated with increased oxygen absorption and healing. Are these structures batteries, transmitters, healing centers, all of the above? In Crimea, researchers recorded scalar waves, non-Hertzian energy once theorized by Tesla, emitting from pyramid-shaped mounds. Scalar waves are directional, powerful, and don't lose energy over distance. They don't fit into standard models of physics, but they could explain pyramid function. And it's not just the big pyramids. Smaller structures, step pyramids, mastabas, ziggurats share similar alignments and material properties. They dot the globe like nodes in a forgotten circuit board. We've built antennas, fiber optics, cell towers. But thousands of years ago, someone may have beaten us to the punch with nothing but stone, water, and sound. For centuries, stories of pyramid energy were dismissed as fantasy. But the line between myth and science is starting to blur, thanks to breakthroughs in technology, scanning methods, and material science that are forcing archaeologists to reconsider what we thought we knew. In 2017, researchers from Japan and France used a technique called muon tomography to peer inside the Great Pyramid. What they found was shocking. A hidden void over 100 feet long, roughly the size of a commercial airplane. It had never been accessed, never been mapped. No one knows what's inside. Traditional Egyptology suggests it's just a structural cavity, but fringe researchers speculate otherwise. Could it be a resonant chamber, a capacitor, or even a sealed-off vault containing ancient devices? This isn't an isolated case. In the jungles of Central America, LiDAR technology has uncovered entire lost cities beneath the canopy, many with pyramid cores connected by causeways. These cities often follow celestial patterns, aligning with solstices, lunar phases, or specific star constellations. Urban planning that mirrors the sky. In Peru, radar mapping of the pyramid at Huaca del Sol revealed layered construction techniques, suggesting phased development and possibly re-engineering over time. These weren't primitive attempts at glory. They were iterative, evolving machines. Modern geophysics has found that granite and limestone, the two core materials of many pyramids, possess piezoelectric properties. In simpler terms, they generate electricity when compressed or vibrated. Place these stones over aquifers or fault lines, and you introduce movement. Add sound, and you add frequency. The pyramid becomes a system, a battery, a tuner, a tool. In labs today, scientists are studying how low-frequency sound waves affect quartz. Some experiments show that quartz can amplify, store, and even radiate energy under the right conditions. So the question isn't, could stone store energy? The question is, did they know this thousands of years ago? And the answer might lie in the places we've long ignored. In China's Xiangyang Pyramid Complex, soil samples revealed magnetic anomalies. In Mexico, underground tunnels beneath Teotihuacan contain traces of liquid mercury, a material associated in both alchemical and technological traditions with conductivity and motion. Why mercury? Why sound chambers? Why always this geometry? In 2021, acoustic engineers in the UK recreated the internal structure of the Great Pyramid using digital modeling. When they tested different frequencies, they discovered that the king's chamber acts like a sound box, amplifying specific tones while canceling others. It's the architectural equivalent of a noise filter. But why would a tomb need that, unless it wasn't a tomb? From Prague to Princeton, engineers and physicists are quietly examining pyramid replicas under lab conditions, some finding measurable electromagnetic anomalies, others noting effects on plant growth, crystallization, or even water structure. This isn't ancient alien fantasy. It's testable, peer-reviewed data that we're only now beginning to decode. Which leads to the uncomfortable truth. Maybe our ancestors weren't just builders. Maybe they were engineers operating at a frequency we're only just rediscovering. Even if you've never heard the word Anunnaki, you've felt their shadow. They echo through cinema, Stargate, Prometheus, Indiana Jones, The Fifth Element. Stories where forgotten gods, cosmic engineers, or ancient builders left behind machines too advanced for their time. Sound familiar? These narratives aren't just popular, they're instinctive. They speak to something deeper, a collective unease that the history we've been given is missing entire chapters. And nowhere does that tension burn hotter than with the pyramids. In 2009, the History Channel's Ancient Aliens premiered to ridicule. Yet, 19 seasons later, it's a cultural phenomenon. Why? Because it taps into that unresolved itch, the sense that pyramids are not just relics, but clues, not symbols of death, but blueprints for something bigger. On TikTok and YouTube, amateur sleuths post frequency tests inside pyramid chambers. On Reddit, theories explode across forums with digital reconstructions of Orion-aligned cities and subsonic pyramid blueprints. This is no longer the realm of fringe, it's digital folklore. Why are we so obsessed? Because modern life lacks mystery. We've mapped the Earth, measured the stars, coded our genes. But we still don't know how these structures were built. The tools, missing. The plans, erased. The purpose, disputed. And when something remains inexplicable for long enough, it becomes sacred. H.P. Lovecraft wrote of cyclopean ruins and cosmic visitors before the field of ufology even existed. Arthur C. Clarke hinted at monoliths as communication devices between gods and man. Today, sci-fi blends with archaeology in our streaming queues, filling the void of definitive answers. Even music gets in on it. Artists sample the hum of pyramid frequencies. Painters recreate pyramid blueprints layered with electromagnetic patterns. Clothing lines riff off ancient motifs. Pyramids have become icons, not just of the past, but of possibility. Let's address it directly. Do these obsessions come from science or somewhere deeper? Polls suggest that over 50% of Americans believe in some form of ancient aliens. But it's not about little green men. It's about memory, a hunch that we've forgotten something massive, something encoded not in language, but in stone. Stone that whispers, stone that hums. Maybe we don't want to let go of these theories because they make us feel connected, not just to the cosmos, but to a version of humanity that dared to aim higher. A version of us that built mountains to catch starlight. And maybe, just maybe, those mountains still work. So what if it's all true? What if the pyramids were more than tombs, more than temples? What if they were reminders, not just of forgotten technologies, but forgotten truths, that energy lives all around us, that power flows not from above, but from within? And what if the Anunnaki, whether alien, angel, or ancestor, weren't gods to worship, but engineers to understand? Examples, not idols. Because the real divinity doesn't live in stone monuments or celestial maps. It lives inside you. That same creative force that may have lifted monoliths and tuned frequencies is the same one that drives your curiosity, your imagination, your will to explore. So don't worship the stars. Don't worship the past. Don't worship any god outside yourself. Worship the divinity within you. Because if there's one lesson the pyramids may have been trying to teach us all along, it's that true power, real connection, and timeless creation begin not in the sky, but in the soul. If this video lit something up inside you, don't let it dim. Share it. Comment below with your theories. Subscribe for more deep dives into the mysteries of forgotten history and the power you carry inside. And remember, stay curious, stay sovereign, and never stop asking what else we've forgotten.